What happens when one wild nightstand turns into a lifetime sentence in Seoul's criminal underworld? Amanda thought her biggest problem was catching her boyfriend cheating. She had no idea that 24 hours later, she'd wake up married to one of South Korea's most dangerous crime lords, a man she'd never met, signing wedding documents she couldn't remember signing. This isn't a romance. It's a survival story. Because in Min-jun Kang's world, love is the most dangerous weapon of all. And Amanda just became his greatest vulnerability and his deadliest asset. Subscribe now because once Amanda discovers she's pregnant with the heir to Seoul's most powerful crime family, the real game begins, and she's playing for keeps. 3 weeks had passed since Amanda became a Kang, and she was starting to believe she might actually survive this life. The compound felt less like a prison now, and more like a fortress. Her fortress. She'd fallen into a routine that would have seemed impossible a month ago. Morning coffee with Min-jun while he reviewed security reports. Korean lessons with a patient tutor who pretended not to notice when Amanda mixed up formal and informal speech. Afternoons training with Jiwon in the compound's private gym. Again, Jiwon barked, circling Amanda on the training mat. And this time, don't telegraph your moves. In a real fight, hesitation gets you killed. Amanda wiped sweat from her forehead and adjusted her stance. Jiwon had been teaching her basic self-defense, and while Amanda would never be a trained fighter, she was learning enough to maybe, possibly, stay alive if things went wrong. She threw a punch. Jiwon blocked it easily, swept Amanda's legs, and had her pinned in. Seconds. Better, Jiwon said, offering a hand to pull Amanda up. Last week you would have been dead in 2 seconds. Now it's 5. Progress. Your encouragement is overwhelming, Amanda muttered, but she was smiling. She'd grown to genuinely like Jiwon, who treated her less like Min-jun's accidental wife and more like a younger sister who needed toughening up. Min-jun's watching, Jiwon said quietly, nodding toward the observation window above the gym. Amanda looked up to find her husband. God, it still felt weird to think that word. Standing behind the glass, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Even from this distance, she could feel the intensity of his gaze. He'd been like that lately, watching her constantly, as if afraid she might disappear if he looked away. He's been different since the council meeting, Jiwon continued, moving to the weight bench. Softer. I've never seen my brother soft. I don't think soft is the right word. Amanda grabbed a water bottle, very aware that Min-jun was still watching. More like, less willing to pretend he doesn't care. Same thing, in this family. Jiwon's expression turned serious. Be careful with that, Amanda. The moment our enemies realize he actually loves you, they'll use it against him. Against both of you. The word love hung in the air between them, heavy and complicated. Did Min-jun love her? He'd said she mattered, that she was his heart. But love was something else entirely. Love was what she'd thought she had with Marcus. And look how that turned out. Except Min-jun wasn't Marcus. Min-jun had killed for her, bled for her, stood up to his own family for her. Min-jun brought her coffee every morning exactly how she liked it. 2 sugars, splash of cream. Even though she'd only mentioned it once. Min-jun canceled meetings with dangerous men just to have dinner with her, asking about her day like they were a normal couple instead of a mafia boss and his accidental wife. Maybe that was love. Maybe love in this world looked different than the fairy tale version she'd grown up believing in. Training's done for today, Jiwon announced. Go clean up. Min-jun probably wants to see you anyway, judging by the way he's been lurking up there for the past 20 minutes. Amanda headed to the showers, hyper-aware of every muscle ache, every bruise forming on her skin. The hot water felt like heaven. She was just rinsing shampoo from her hair when she heard the bathroom door open. Jiwon, I'm almost done. Not Jiwon. Min-jun's voice made her freeze. She could see his silhouette through the frosted glass of the shower door. May I join you? Her heart kicked into overdrive. They'd been sleeping in the same bed, yes, but there'd been a careful distance between them since that kiss after the council meeting. Both of them dancing around whatever this thing between them was becoming. Yes, Amanda said, and meant it. The shower door opened and Min-jun stepped in, still fully clothed. Amanda laughed despite her nervousness. You're supposed to undress first. I know. But he didn't move to remove his clothes. Instead, he reached out, brushing wet hair from her face with unexpected gentleness. I just needed to see you, to touch you, to make sure you're real. I'm real. Amanda placed her hand over his on her cheek. I'm right here. You were magnificent today. Watching you train, seeing you get stronger. His voice dropped lower. You have no idea what you do to me, Amanda. No idea how hard it is to maintain distance when all I want is to keep you close. Then don't maintain distance. She was trembling now, but not from cold. I'm tired of pretending there's nothing between us. I'm tired of acting like this is still just a business arrangement. Min-jun's eyes searched hers, dark and intense. If we do this, if we make this real, there's no going back. You understand that? The annulment is gone. The escape plan is gone. You'll be mine completely, and I don't share what's mine. I know. Amanda pulled him closer, not caring that the water was soaking his expensive suit. I don't want an escape plan anymore. I want this. I want you. He kissed her then, deep and possessive, one hand fisting in her wet hair while the other gripped her waist. Amanda kissed him back with equal intensity, years of playing it safe and being careful burning away under the heat of his touch. This was reckless and dangerous and probably a terrible idea. But she'd stopped caring about safety the moment she woke up married to Seoul's most feared Mafia boss. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Min-jun rested his forehead against hers. I have something for you. Get dressed and meet me in my office. Mysterious, Amanda teased, but her hands were shaking as she reached for a towel after he left. 20 minutes later, dressed in one of the designer outfits Min-jun had bought her, Amanda knocked on his office door, called for her to enter, and she found him standing by the window, backlit by the Seoul skyline. In his hand was a small black box. This was my mother's, he said without preamble, opening the box to reveal a delicate gold necklace with a jade pendant. She wore it every day until she died. My father gave it to her on their wedding day, their real wedding day, not some drunken accident. Amanda's breath caught. Min-jun, I can't. You can. He moved behind her, fastening the necklace around her throat. His fingers brushed her skin, sending shivers down her spine. You're not just my wife anymore, Amanda. You're my heart. And I need you to know that. Amanda touched the jade pendant, feeling its weight against her chest. It was warm from Min-jun's hands, smooth and precious. Your heart, she repeated softly, turning to face him. That's a dangerous thing to give someone in your world. I know. His hand settled on her waist, pulling her closer. But it's already yours. Has been for weeks now, if I'm honest with myself. He paused, jaw tightening. My father used to say that love is weakness in this business, that caring about someone gives your enemies ammunition. He was probably right. But Amanda could hear the unspoken word hanging between them. But I don't care anymore. Let them try to use you against me. I'll burn down anyone who even thinks about hurting you. His voice was soft, but there was steel underneath. You've made me weak, Amanda. And somehow, I've never felt stronger. Amanda wanted to say something, wanted to tell him that she felt the same terrifying pull toward him, but her stomach chose that moment, to roll violently. She pressed a hand to her mouth, sudden nausea washing over her. Amanda? Min-jun's concern was immediate. What's wrong? Nothing, Another wave hit her, stronger this time. I think I need to sit down. He guided her to the leather couch, his hands gentle but firm. You've been pale all week. I'm calling the doctor. No, really, it's fine. Probably just something I ate. I'm calling the doctor, he repeated, already pulling out his phone. This isn't negotiable. An hour later, Amanda sat alone in Min-jun's private bathroom, staring at the plastic stick in her shaking hands. 2 pink lines. Positive. Pregnant. She was pregnant with a mafia boss's baby. A man she'd known for less than a month. A man whose world involved bullets and blood and bodies. What kind of life could she give a child here? What kind of mother would she be in this violent, dangerous world? And worse, the thought that kept circling her mind like a vulture. What if this was exactly what Min-jun had wanted all along? The doctor had been suspiciously quick to suggest a pregnancy test. What if Min-jun had orchestrated this somehow? No, that was paranoid. Crazy. He couldn't have planned this. Could he? Amanda shoved the test into her pocket and splashed cold water on her face. She needed to think, needed to process this before telling Min-jun, needed to figure out if his sudden declarations of love were real or just another manipulation. She was halfway down the corridor when she heard voices coming from Min-jun's uncle's study. The door was slightly ajar, and Amanda recognized the uncle's gravelly tone immediately. The clause is clear, Min-jun. If you produce an heir within the first year of leadership, your position becomes permanent. No challenges, no votes, no questions. Amanda froze, pressing herself against the wall. I'm aware of the clause. That was Min-jun's cousin, his voice dripping with disdain. That American woman might actually be useful for once. Get her pregnant, secure the bloodline, and your precious position is safe forever. He's already obsessed with her, the uncle said, and Amanda could hear the smile in his voice. This should be easy. A few months, maybe less, and we'll have our heir. The family will be stable, unified. If she even survives pregnancy in this world, the cousin added. Foreign women are so fragile. It would be a shame if something happened to her before the birth. The uncle laughed, cold and calculating. Nothing will happen to her. Min-jun would slaughter half of Seoul if anyone touched his precious wife. No, we need her alive and breeding, at least until the heir is born and the clause is satisfied. Amanda's hand instinctively went to her stomach, where a tiny collection of cells was already dividing, growing, becoming a person. An heir, a tool, a means to an end. She backed away from the door silently, her mind racing. They'd been planning this. Maybe not Min-jun specifically, but his family certainly saw her pregnancy as a strategic advantage. Every sweet word, every gentle touch, every declaration of love, had it all been leading to this? Was she really just a convenient incubator for the Kang dynasty? The jade necklace felt heavy around her throat now, less like a gift and more like a collar. Amanda made it back to Min-jun's bedroom and locked the door. She pulled out the pregnancy test, staring at those 2 pink lines that had just become infinitely more complicated. She should tell him. She should march right back to his office and demand the truth about whether he knew, whether he'd planned this. But if she told him now, everything would change. He'd be protective, possessive, probably lock her in this compound forever to keep her and the baby safe. Or worse, he'd confirm her worst fears and admit that yes, this was always the plan. Get the American woman drunk, marry her, knock her up, secure the empire. She couldn't tell him. Not yet. Not until she figured out what was real and what was strategy. The door handle rattled. Amanda, why's the door locked? Min-jun's voice carried concern. The doctor's here. Let me in. Amanda shoved the pregnancy test into her nightstand drawer and unlocked the door, schooling her features into something resembling calm. Sorry, I was just changing. Min-jun studied her face, and she could see him cataloging every micro-expression, every tell. He knew something was wrong. Of course he did. The doctor wants to run some tests. Make sure you're not actually sick. I'm fine, really. Humor me. He took her hand, and she had to force herself not to pull away. Please, Amanda, I need to know you're okay. The doctor was a small, efficient woman who spoke perfect English. She took Amanda's vitals, asked a series of questions about her symptoms, and then suggested, just as Amanda had feared, a pregnancy test. That won't be necessary, Amanda said quickly. I'm not pregnant. It's just stress. Probably. New country, new life, all of that. The doctor exchanged a glance with Min-jun. Mrs. Kang, the symptoms you're describing are very consistent with early pregnancy. A simple test would... I said no. Amanda's voice came out sharper than intended. I appreciate your concern, but I know my own body. It's not pregnancy. Min-jun's expression was unreadable, but his eyes were sharp, assessing. He knew she was lying. She could see it in the way his jaw tightened, the way his hands flexed at his sides. Thank you, Dr. Park, he said smoothly. That will be all for now. I'll call if we need anything else. Once the doctor left, silence filled the room like poison gas. Min-jun stood by the window, his back to Amanda, shoulders rigid with tension. You're lying to me, he said finally, his voice carefully neutral. Why? I'm not... Don't. He turned to face her, and the hurt in his eyes was like a physical blow. Whatever we are, whatever... This is between us. I thought we were past lying to each other. I've told you things I've never told anyone. I've given you access to parts of myself I keep locked away from the world. And you're standing there, lying to my face. Amanda's throat tightened. She wanted to tell him everything, about the pregnancy, about what she'd overheard, about her fears and doubts. But the words stuck in her throat, trapped behind years of learning that vulnerability meant pain. I heard them, Amanda said finally, the words bursting out before she could stop them. Your uncle and your cousin, talking about how convenient it would be if I got pregnant, how it would secure your position permanently through some clause, how I'd be useful for once. Min-jun went very still. When did you hear this? Just now, before the doctor came. Amanda wrapped her arms around herself, suddenly cold despite the warm room. They were laughing about it, Min-jun. Talking about me like I'm some kind of breeding stock. And I just... Her voice cracked. I need to know if you knew. If this was always the plan. Get the drunk American girl to marry you. Sleep with her. Get her pregnant. Secure the empire. You think I would do that? His voice was low, dangerous. You think I would manipulate you into pregnancy? I don't know what to think. Amanda's composure shattered. A month ago, I was a normal person with normal problems. Now I'm married to a crime lord. People are shooting at me, and your family is discussing my reproductive potential like I'm a prize mare. So yes, Min-jun, I'm having trouble trusting that anything about this is real. He crossed the room in 3 strides, gripping her shoulders. Not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to make her look at him. Listen to me very carefully. I didn't know about any clause. I married you because I needed a wife quickly, yes. But everything since then, every moment, every word, every touch, that's been real. I didn't plan for you to matter. I didn't plan to fall in love with you. You love me. The words came out barely above a whisper. Yes, damn it. I love you. His hands gentled on her shoulders. I love that you punched your ex-boyfriend. I love that you stood up to my uncle at the council meeting. I love that you're learning Korean, even though you massacre the pronunciation. I love that you're scared, but you don't run. I love you, Amanda, and I sure as hell didn't plan for it. Tears spilled down Amanda's cheeks. I'm pregnant. Min-jun's hands dropped from her shoulders. He took a step back, his expression cycling through shock, fear, joy, and something that looked like terror. You're... How long have you known? About an hour. Amanda pulled the pregnancy test from the nightstand drawer, holding it out like evidence. I found out right before I heard them talking. And I know the timing is suspicious. I know it looks like maybe you orchestrated this somehow, but I need you to tell me the truth. Did you know this would happen? Did you want this? I've known for a week, Min-jun said quietly, and Amanda's heart stopped. Dr. Park told me after she ran your blood work last week when you fainted. She thought I should know before you did, in case it posed security risks. You've known for a week? Amanda's voice rose. You've known for a week and you didn't tell me? I was waiting for you to tell me. Min-jun ran his hands through his hair, frustration evident in every line of his body. I didn't want to take that moment from you. I didn't want you to think I was monitoring your body like some kind of... like what my uncle apparently thinks I should be doing. But you were monitoring it. You had the doctor tell you first. Amanda threw the pregnancy test at him. It bounced off his chest and clattered to the floor. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You make decisions about my life without telling me. You manipulate situations to suit your needs. How am I supposed to trust anything you say? Because I'm telling you the truth now. Min-jun's composure cracked. Yes, I knew about the pregnancy. Yes, I should have told you immediately. But I was scared, Amanda. Terrified. Do you know what happens to the people I love in this world? My mother was beaten so badly by my father she lost 2 pregnancies before she had me and Ji-won. My uncle killed his wife when she tried to leave with their children. Love in this family is a death sentence, and I just found out the woman I love is carrying my child into this nightmare. The raw emotion in his voice stopped Amanda's anger cold. She'd never seen him like this. Vulnerable, afraid, stripped of all his careful control. Min-jun. I don't know how to keep you safe, he continued, his voice breaking. I don't know how to protect you from my family, from my enemies, from this whole cursed life. And now there's a baby. Our baby. And all I can think about is all the ways this world will try to destroy you both. He sank onto the edge of the bed, head in his hands. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am weak. Because the thought of losing you, of losing this child, makes me want to burn everything down and run away with you somewhere they can never find us. Amanda stood frozen, watching this powerful, dangerous man fall apart in front of her. Every instinct screamed at her to comfort him, but another part, the part that had been hurt too many times, held back. If you'd just told me from the beginning, if you'd been honest instead of trying to protect me from information about my own body... You're right. Min-jun looked up at her, and his eyes were red. You're absolutely right. I should have told you the second I knew. I should have given you the choice about how to handle it. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. The apology hung between them, genuine and painful. Amanda wanted to accept it, wanted to fall into his arms and pretend everything was fine. But she'd made that mistake with Marcus, accepting apologies, making excuses, letting love blind her to red flags. I need time, she said finally, to think, to process all of this. How much time? I don't know. A few days? A week? Amanda wrapped her arms around herself again. I can't make decisions about us, about this baby, when I don't know what's real and what's strategy. I need space, Min-jun. His jaw tightened, but he nodded. Okay, space. But you're not leaving this compound. It's not safe. Of course not. God forbid I actually have freedom. The bitterness in her voice surprised even her. That's not fair. You know the danger. What I know is that I'm trapped. Again. Amanda's laugh was hollow. I thought Marcus trapped me in a dead relationship. Turns out that was nothing compared to this. At least I could have left Marcus. Here, I can't leave. Can't make my own choices. Can't even find out I'm pregnant without my husband knowing first. So yes, Min-jun, I need space, even if it's just the illusion of it. He stood slowly, moving toward the door. At the threshold, he paused. I love you, Amanda. That's real. The baby is real. My fear of losing you is real. Whatever my uncle and cousin are plotting, that's just noise. Don't let them make you doubt us. After he left, Amanda locked the door again and sank to the floor, hands pressed against her still flat stomach. A baby. She was going to have a baby in this world of violence and manipulation and deadly family politics. If you're watching this story, hit that subscribe button now because what happens next will change everything. Amanda must have dozed off on the floor because she woke to shouting. Not in the room, somewhere else in the compound. Multiple voices raised in anger, the sound of something crashing. She scrambled to her feet, heart pounding, and cracked open the bedroom door. Ji-won was running down the hallway, gun already in hand. Stay in the room. What's happening? Just stay. Ji-won's words were cut off by gunfire. Close. Too close. She shoved Amanda back into the bedroom. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but Min-jun or me, understand? Before Amanda could respond, Ji-won was gone, disappearing around the corner toward the chaos. Amanda slammed the door and locked it, her hands shaking so badly she could barely manage the deadbolt. More gunfire erupted, closer now, accompanied by shouting in Korean. She pressed herself against the wall, trying to remember everything Ji-won had taught her about staying safe during an attack. Stay low. Stay quiet. Stay away from windows. Her phone. She needed her phone. Amanda scrambled across the room, searching for the encrypted cell Min-jun had given her. It was on the nightstand, and her fingers were slick with sweat as she tried to unlock it. 3 missed calls from Min-jun. She was about to call him back when the phone buzzed in her hand. Amanda? Min-jun's voice was tight with controlled panic. Tell me you're locked in the bedroom. I'm locked in. Min-jun, what's happening? Rival family, they breached the south gate. More gunfire in the background of his call. I'm on my way to you. 5 minutes. Don't open the door for anyone. Ji-won left to... I know. She'll be fine. Just stay where you are, and stay away from the windows. A pause. Then softer. I'm coming for you. I promise. The call disconnected. Amanda clutched the phone, counting seconds that felt like hours. She could hear footsteps in the hallway now, running, urgent, voices shouting orders. Then Ji-won's voice, loud and clear. North corridor clear. Fall back to the primary defensive position. Amanda's relief lasted exactly 3 seconds before she heard the explosion. The bedroom door shuddered but held. Smoke began seeping under the doorframe, acrid and choking. Amanda grabbed a pillow, pressed it over her nose and mouth, and backed toward the bathroom. If they breached the door, she needed another way out. The bathroom had a small window, too small for her to fit through normally, but maybe with enough motivation. Mrs. Kang. The voice came from the hallway, speaking English with a heavy accent. We know you're in there. Open the door, and you won't be harmed. We just need you to come with us for a conversation. Amanda didn't respond, didn't move. Her heart was slamming against her ribs so hard she thought it might break through. Your husband has taken something from my family. We're simply retrieving collateral. The doorknob rattled. Don't make this difficult. We have no interest in hurting a pregnant woman. How did they know? How could they possibly know she was pregnant when she'd only found out hours ago? Unless someone inside the compound had leaked the information. Unless this attack wasn't random at all, but specifically orchestrated to take her while the family was distracted by the pregnancy revelation. Last chance, Mrs. Kang. Open the door or we blow it open. Your choice. Amanda made it to the bathroom just as the second explosion tore through the bedroom door. The blast threw her forward, and she hit the tile floor hard, ears ringing. Strong hands grabbed her arms, hauling her upright. She kicked out blindly, connected, with something soft. Someone cursed in Korean. "Feisty one," a man said, and Amanda found herself staring at a scarred face behind a black mask. "The boss will enjoy breaking you." "Let go of me." Amanda twisted, trying to remember Jiwon's lessons, but there were two of them, and she'd never actually fought for her life before. A cloth pressed over her mouth and nose, chemical sweet and suffocating. She held her breath, thrashing harder, but her body was already growing heavy. The last thing she heard before darkness took her was gunfire erupting again, and Min-jun's voice, raw with fury, screaming her name. Amanda woke to darkness and pain. Her head throbbed where she'd hit the floor. Her wrists burned from zip ties cutting into skin, and her mouth was dry from whatever they'd used to knock her out. She was sitting in a chair, she realized slowly, in a room that smelled of mold and blood and terror. "She's awake." A voice to her left, bored. "Tell the boss." Footsteps, a door, opening and closing. Then silence except for Amanda's own breathing, too fast, verging on panic. She forced herself to slow down, to think. She was alive, which meant they wanted something from her. Wanted to use her to hurt Min-jun probably, which meant she still had time. Time for what, though? She couldn't fight her way out of here, couldn't run with her hands bound and no idea where she was. All she could do was survive long enough for Min-jun to find her. If he could find her. If he even wanted to, after their fight. No. She couldn't think like that. Min-jun would come. He'd burned half of Seoul to secure his position. He'd stood up to his own family for her. He'd looked at her with eyes full of love and fear and desperate hope. When he'd said he'd burn everything down before he'd lose her, he would come. The door opened again, and Amanda squinted against the sudden light. A man walked in, tall and elegant in an expensive suit that seemed absurdly out of place in this grimy room. He smiled at her like they were old friends meeting for coffee. "Mrs. Kang, or should I call you Amanda? We're going to be spending some time together after all. Might as well be friendly." He pulled up a chair, sitting directly in front of her. "My name is Park Dong-woo. I run the Park family operations in Eastern Seoul. Your husband has been very inconvenient for my business lately." "Then take it up with him." Amanda's voice came out stronger than she felt. "Kidnapping me won't change anything." "Oh, but it will." Dongwoo's smile widened. "You see, Min-jun has always been ruthless, calculating, impossible to rattle. But then he married you, and suddenly he's making mistakes. Emotional mistakes. The kind that get people killed in our world." He leaned forward. "Did you know he almost got himself shot yesterday? Rushing to your side when you weren't feeling well. Left his flank completely exposed. My informant said he was like a different person. Distracted. Vulnerable. Weak. He's not weak. He is when it comes to you." Dongwoo pulled out his phone, showing Amanda a video. It was from the compound, from the attack. Min-jun was there, covered in blood, fighting through his own men to get to the bedroom. His face was twisted with rage and fear, nothing like the controlled mask he usually wore. "Look at him. He's been completely compromised by you." The video continued, showing Min-jun reaching the destroyed bedroom door. Showing him finding it empty. Showing the exact moment he realized she was gone. The way he'd fallen to his knees. The anguished sound that ripped from his throat. "He's in love with you," Dongwoo continued. "Desperately, destructively in love. Which makes you the perfect leverage." Amanda forced herself to look away from the screen. "What do you want?" "Simple. Min-jun steps down from leadership of the Kang family. He transfers his assets, his operations, his territory to his uncle. He leaves Seoul and never comes back." Dongwoo pocketed his phone. "Do that, And you go free. Both of you. Refuse, and he gestured around the room. Well, this room has seen a lot of suffering. It would be a shame to add a pregnant woman to that history, but I will if I have to. He'll kill you for this. Maybe. But first, he'll have to choose between saving you and keeping his empire. And I think we both know which one he'll choose. Dongwoo stood, brushing imaginary dust from his suit. I'm going to send him a video now. Show him you're alive. Let him see exactly what we have. Give him 24 hours to decide. I suggest you spend that time hoping he loves you more than he loves power. After Dongwoo left, Amanda was alone with her thoughts and her fear and the growing certainty that she'd brought this on herself. If she hadn't pulled away from Min-jun, if she hadn't demanded space, if she'd just stayed close to him where he could protect her. But no. That was the thinking that had kept her trapped with Marcus, always making herself smaller, always blaming herself for other people's actions. Dongwoo had kidnapped her. That was on him, not on her, not on Min-jun. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Amanda had lost all sense of time in the dark room. Her wrists were raw and bleeding from the zip ties, and every time she shifted, pain shot through her shoulders. The baby. She had to think about the baby, had to stay calm, keep her stress down, survive whatever was coming. The door burst open without warning, and Amanda's guard stumbled backward, clutching his throat. Blood sprayed between his fingers as he collapsed. Behind him stood Min-jun, covered in blood that clearly wasn't his, holding a knife that dripped red onto the concrete floor. He looked like death itself. Amanda. Her name came out ragged, broken. He was across the room in seconds, cutting through the zip ties with the same knife he'd just used to kill a man. Are you hurt? Did they touch you? Did they? I'm okay, Amanda gasped as blood rushed back into her hands. Min-jun, I'm okay. He pulled her against his chest, and she could feel him shaking. Actually, shaking. When I saw that video of you tied up, His voice cracked. I've never been that afraid in my entire life. How did you find me? Tortured it out of Dongwoo's second in command. Min-jun said it like he was discussing the weather. Took 3 fingers and 20 minutes. He gave up the location and the security codes. He pulled back to look at her, his hands framing her face. I'm getting you out of here. Can you walk? Yes. But Min-jun... Gunfire erupted somewhere above them. Min-jun cursed, pulling a gun from his waistband and pressing it into Amanda's hands. Safety's off. Point and shoot if anyone comes through that door who isn't me or my men. Understand? Where are you going? To make sure we have a clear exit. He kissed her hard, desperately. I love you. Remember that. No matter what happens in the next 10 minutes, remember that I love you and our baby more than anything in this world. Then he was gone, disappearing into the corridor. Amanda gripped the gun with shaking hands, the weight of it foreign and terrifying. She could hear fighting now, close, getting closer. Men shouting, more gunshots, something heavy hitting the floor. The door opened again. Amanda raised the gun, finger on the trigger, but it was Ji-won who stumbled through, blood seeping through a wound in her shoulder. Don't shoot, it's me, Ji-won said, wincing. We need to move. Now. Min-jun's clearing the upper floors, but we have maybe 2 minutes before reinforcements arrive. You're hurt. I'm fine. Move. Ji-won grabbed Amanda's arm, pulling her into the corridor. Bodies littered the floor, some dead, some dying. Amanda tried not to look. Tried not to think about the fact that Min-jun had done this. Had killed all these people to get to her. They made it up a stairwell, through what looked like an abandoned warehouse, and out into the night. 3 black SUVs waited with engines running. Ji-won shoved Amanda into the middle vehicle just as an explosion rocked the building behind them. Min-jun! Amanda tried to climb back out, but Ji-won held her in place. He's right behind us. Look! And there he was, running from the burning building with two of his men. His suit was shredded, his face covered in soot and blood, but he was alive. He was alive, and running toward her. He dove into the SUV, and the convoy took off before the door was even closed. Amanda threw herself at him, and he caught her, held her, buried his face in her hair. "I've got you," he murmured over and over. "I've got you. You're safe. I've got you. You came for me." Amanda was crying now, couldn't stop crying. "You actually came. Did you think I wouldn't?" Min-jun pulled back to look at her, and his eyes were fierce. "Amanda, I would have torn apart this entire city to find you. I would have murdered every single person in Dongwoo's organization. I would have started a war that would have left Seoul burning." His hands tightened on her arms. "Don't ever doubt that I will always come for you. Dongwoo said you'd have to choose between me and your empire. There was no choice. The empire means nothing without you." He pressed his forehead to hers. "I told my uncle I was stepping down. Told him he could have everything. The business, the territory, the title. All of it. As long as I got you back." Amanda's breath caught. "You didn't." "I did. Or I was about to, until Jiwon found the location and we were able to move fast enough." Min-jun's smile was grim. "My uncle was very relieved. Apparently giving up everything for love isn't the Kang way. But you were willing to. In a heartbeat." He kissed her softly, carefully, like she might break. "The moment I saw you were gone, the moment I thought I might lose you, none of it mattered. The power, the respect, the legacy. I would have given it all up and counted myself lucky to have you alive." The SUV pulled into a different compound, somewhere Amanda didn't recognize. Min-jun explained it was a safe house, one of several he maintained throughout Seoul. They'd stay here until things settled down, until he was sure there were no more immediate threats. Inside, while a doctor tended to Jiwon's shoulder, Min-jun led Amanda to a bedroom and gently examined every inch of her for injuries. His hands were steady now, professional, but she could see the fear still lingering in his eyes. "I'm okay," she said again. "We're both okay. The baby is fine. I didn't fall, didn't get hit, just scared." Amanda placed his hand on her stomach. "We're tougher than we look." Min-jun's expression crumbled. He sank to his knees in front of her, pressing his face against her stomach. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is my fault. My world, my enemies, my—" "Stop." Amanda ran her fingers through his hair. "This isn't your fault. Dongwoo made his choice. You made yours. And I'm making mine now." He looked up at her, confused. "What choice?" "I'm staying. No more doubts. No more asking for space. I'm staying with you, in this world, as your wife, and the mother of your child." Amanda pulled him to his feet. "But I need you to promise me something. Anything. No more secrets. No more protecting me from information about my own body, my own life. We're partners now. Equal partners. Or this doesn't work." Min-jun nodded slowly. "Equal partners. I promise." He hesitated, then added, "I need to tell you something. About the conversation you overheard." Amanda tensed. "What about it?" "After you left, I went to confront my uncle and cousin. Made it very clear that you are not a strategic asset or a breeding tool. You're my wife, and they will treat you with respect, or answer to me." His jaw tightened. "My cousin suggested that perhaps you'd be more useful as a widow, that I could remarry someone more suitable." "What did you do?" "Broke his nose. Told him if he ever threatened you again, I'd kill him myself, family or not." Min-jun's eyes were hard. "Then I had my uncle add a codicil to the family charter. Any attempt on your life, any harm that comes to you from within the family, will be met with immediate exile and seizure of all assets. You're protected now, officially." You did that for me? I did that for us. For our family. He placed his hand over hers on her stomach. No one touches what's mine. Not my uncle. Not my cousin. Not Dongwoo or anyone else who thinks they can use you to control me. If you're still watching, make sure you're subscribed, because Amanda's transformation is just beginning and you won't want to miss what she becomes. That night, lying in bed with Min-jun's arms wrapped protectively around her, Amanda made a decision. She couldn't just be Min-jun's wife, couldn't just be the woman who needed protecting. If she was going to survive in this world, if she was going to raise a child here, she needed to become someone people feared to touch. She needed to become powerful in her own right. Teach me, she whispered into the darkness. Min-jun stirred. Teach you what? Everything. The business, the operations, how to read people, how to negotiate, how to be more than just your weakness. Amanda turned to face him. I want to be your strength, your equal, your queen, not your captive. Min-jun was quiet for a long moment, studying her face in the dim light filtering through the curtains. Then, slowly, he smiled. Not the cold, calculated smile he showed his enemies, but something genuine and almost proud. You want to learn the family business? I want to learn everything, Amanda corrected. I'm tired of being a target because people think I'm weak. I'm tired of being a piece on your chessboard that everyone else gets to move around. I want to be a player. It won't be easy. The family won't accept you as anything more than my wife. Then I'll make them accept me. Amanda's voice was steel. I stood up to your uncle once. I can do it again. But I need you to actually teach me, not just protect me. Can you do that? Can you let go of control enough to make me your partner in every way? Min-jun traced her jawline with his thumb, his expression unreadable. My mother tried to be involved in the business once. My father beat her unconscious and told her the only power she'd ever have was the power he allowed her. I swore I'd never be like him, never treat the woman I loved as property. He paused. But I've been doing exactly that, haven't I? Deciding what you can handle, what you should know, where you can go. Protecting you so aggressively that I've trapped you. You were trying to keep me safe. I was trying to keep you controllable. His admission was raw, honest. Because if you're powerful, if you're independent, then you could leave me. And I'm terrified of losing you. Amanda kissed him softly. I could leave you now if I really wanted to. Run to the embassy, claim I was kidnapped, force an annulment. But I'm not leaving Min-jun. I'm choosing to stay. I'm choosing you. But I need you to choose me too. All of me, including the parts that want power and knowledge and control over my own life. Okay. Min-jun pulled her closer. Starting tomorrow, you learn everything. The operations, the finances, the politics. I'll teach you myself, and when the baby comes, we'll figure out how to balance it all together. Together, Amanda repeated, and it felt like a vow. The next 6 weeks were brutal. Amanda woke at dawn every day for Korean lessons, spent mornings learning the intricacies of the family business from Min-jun, the legitimate fronts, the illegal operations, the delicate balance of alliances and rivalries that kept Seoul's underworld functioning. Afternoons were with Ji-won, who'd recovered from her gunshot wound and seemed delighted to have another woman to train. Your stance is sloppy, Ji-won said, circling Amanda on the training mat. Amanda's baby bump was barely visible now at 3 months, but Ji-won had adjusted their training to account for it. Again. Amanda reset, tried the combination again. Better this time. Ji-won nodded approval. You're getting faster. Good. Because when the baby comes, you'll need to be able to defend both of you if something goes wrong. Ji-won's expression softened slightly. I never thought my brother would find someone who could keep up with him. You're proving me wrong. Is that a compliment? Don't let it go to your head. But Jiwon was smiling. The real test came at the monthly family council meeting. Amanda had attended before, but always as Min-jun's silent wife, decorative and powerless. This time she walked in carrying a folder full of financial reports she'd spent 2 weeks analyzing. What is she doing here? Min-jun's cousin sneered, his nose still slightly crooked from where Min-jun had broken it. This is family business. She is family, Min-jun said coldly. And she has more right to be here than you do, considering what I found in the Southern District accounts. Amanda stood, moving to the head of the table where a projector waited. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. For the past 3 months, someone has been skimming from the family's gambling operations in the Southern District. Small amounts, barely noticeable, but consistent. Over time, it adds up to about 3 million won. She clicked to the next slide, showing transaction records. The money was being funneled through shell companies, then redirected to accounts in the Cayman Islands. Very sophisticated. Whoever did it knew our systems intimately. The cousin's face had gone pale. This is ridiculous. You can't possibly. The accounts, Amanda continued, are registered to a company called Park Consulting. Interesting name, considering we just went to war with the Park family. She looked directly at the cousin. Even more interesting? You have a business partner named Park. Your college roommate, if I remember correctly from the background files. The silence in the room was absolute. Min-jun's uncle leaned forward, his expression dangerous. Is this true? She doesn't know what she's talking about, the cousin blustered. She's been here for 2 months and thinks she understands. 3 months, Amanda corrected. And I understand perfectly. You've been working with the Park family, feeding them information about our operations, stealing from us to fund your own ambitions. The kidnapping wasn't random. You told Dongwoo when I'd be vulnerable, didn't you? You helped plan the whole thing. Min-jun moved so fast Amanda barely saw it. One moment he was sitting, the next he had his cousin by the throat, slammed against the wall. You betrayed us. You betrayed me. You put my wife and my child in danger for money? I was trying to save the family, the cousin choked out. You're weak, Min-jun. Compromised by this woman. Someone had to take action. The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space. Min-jun's uncle stood with his pistol raised, smoke curling from the barrel. The cousin slumped to the floor, dead before he hit the ground. Traitors die, the uncle said simply, holstering his weapon. He turned to Amanda, and for the first time, there was genuine respect in his eyes. You found what our accountants missed. Impressive work, Mrs. Kang. Amanda forced herself not to react to the body cooling on the floor. This was the world she'd chosen. These were the rules she had to live by now. Thank you. I've also prepared recommendations for securing our financial systems going forward. With your permission, I'd like to implement them. Permission granted. The uncle looked at Min-jun. Your wife is an asset to this family. Anyone who thinks otherwise can join my nephew on the floor. After the meeting, Amanda made it to the bathroom before she threw up. Min-jun found her there, sitting on the cold tile, shaking. You did well, he said softly, kneeling beside her. I just watched your uncle murder someone and didn't even flinch. You flinched. You just waited until you were alone. He pulled her against him. This is the life, Amanda. I can't change it. I can only promise that I'll be beside you through all of it. I know. Amanda took a shaky breath. I'm okay. Or I will be. I just need a minute. Take all the time you need. Min-jun pressed a kiss to her temple. You proved yourself today. The family sees you as powerful now, not as my weakness. That was what you wanted, wasn't it? Yes, but I didn't expect it to feel like this. She touched her stomach, where the baby was growing. What kind of world are we bringing our child into? A dangerous one, a violent one, but also one where they'll be protected, powerful, and free to choose their own path. Min-jun's hand covered hers. We can't change what we are, Amanda, but we can try to be better than the generation before us. We can try to build something worth inheriting. 3 months later, Amanda stood in the same council room, visibly pregnant now, presenting a proposal to expand their legitimate business operations. She spoke with confidence, fielded questions with expertise, and when someone questioned her authority, she shut them down with a look that would have made Min-jun proud. She was no longer the woman who'd woken up accidentally married to a mafia boss. She was Amanda Kang, co-head of the family operations, feared and respected in equal measure. She'd learned to shoot, to negotiate, to read people's intentions. She'd learned when to show mercy and when to be ruthless. And when their daughter was born on a cold December night, screaming and perfect and impossibly small, Amanda held her and made a silent promise. This child would never be powerless. This child would never be anyone's pawn. This child would grow up knowing that power came not from fear, but from respect earned through strength and intelligence. Min-jun stood beside the hospital bed, tears streaming down his face as he held his daughter for the first time. She's perfect. She's absolutely perfect. She's a Kang, Amanda said, smiling. Of course she is. That night, with their daughter sleeping peacefully in her arms and Min-jun dozing in the chair beside her, Amanda thought about the journey that had brought her here. From a woman broken by betrayal to a woman who'd learned to break her enemies. From victim to survivor to something more. A queen in a kingdom built on blood and power. She'd woken up married to Seoul's most feared mafia boss. Now she was the reason even he had to watch his back. And she wouldn't have it any other way. The Seoul skyline glittered beyond the hospital window, full of danger and possibility, and a future she'd fight to protect. Amanda Kang had arrived, and the city would learn to fear her name just as much as her husband's, because love in this world wasn't soft or safe or simple. It was fierce and bloody and absolutely worth fighting for. And Amanda had discovered she was very, very good at fighting. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories because Amanda's reign as Seoul's Mafia queen is just beginning. Drop a comment below telling us what you'd do in her position. Would you embrace the power or try to escape? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next story.